Peace be upon you. I hope you are well. Today, I'm gonna do the exercises at page number 25, student book, aim high 4, and also page number 22, workbook. Before anything, this page related to the grammar topic in this unit that talks about modal auxiliary verb. And in this unit, we learn about should and ought to express advice. احنا استخدمنا should و ought to بمعنى ينبغي وهي تعطي النصيحة. And we learn about must, have to, has to, and also had to indicate obligation. We learn about mustn't to express prohibition. Prohibition معناها ممنوع. Okay. الobligation معناها إجبارية. Now, in the first exercise in this page, you can see explore. This exercise asks you to read the advice on self-motivation. Do you do any of the things that are recommended? The title is How to Motivate Yourself. كيف بدك تحفز نفسك. When a teacher tells his students that they have to do homework, they are sometimes motivated by external factors such as punishment. أول شيء أنا بدي أركز على الفعل أو المودال auxiliary verb اللي هو have to، وننتبه إنه بعد ال have to كان عندنا الفعل مجرد. This is the first point. And the meaning of it معناها يجب. Okay. أن تفعل طبعا. هون بيجي بمعنى الإجبارية الأوبليجيشن، وننتبه إنه في عندنا هون external factors، في عامل خارجي اللي هو العقاب. فإذا أنت ما حليت معناته في عقاب لعدم أدائك في هذا الواجب. However, the experts say we ought to be motivated by our own desire to do well because this is the best form of motivation. But how? Read the following tips. Okay, now here I want to stop again and talk about ought to. هلا ought to بمعنى يجب أو ينبغي. And this is a modal auxiliary verb. I use it to give advice. ought to بستخدمها لإعطاء النصيحة. It is like should in meaning. هلا هي وشود بنفس المعنى، بمعنى ينبغي، وهي بتنعطى يعني تستخدم لإعطاء النصيحة، ولكن ننتبه إنه الأوت تو it's formal than should. أوت تو بنلاقيها في academic writing and so on، فهي إلى حد ما هاي الصيغة رسمية، والinformal اللي هي should. Okay. Be positive. You must focus on the positive things you have done. Then here we have another modal auxiliary verb is must, and must here it means it is necessary or it is your duty. هلا بمعنى يجب، ولكن هون بدنا نفهم انه هون الابليكيشن بيجي internal يعني من inside the person، من داخل الانسان هذه الاجباريه، لكن ننتبه الهاف تو بتيجي من حدا تاني بيأمر عليك انك تعمل هاي الشغل. List them and you will be surprised how many there are. Of course, you mustn't. Okay. هلا. The negative of must is mustn't, and mustn't here is stronger than must. نفهم إنه هوني استخدام mustn't في الجمل أقوى من استخدام must من حيث الفانكشن، لأنه هوني mustn't عم تعطيني معنى البروهيبيشن يعني ممنوع. ممنوع منعا. اوكي، ممنوع. ننتبه على mustn't معناها ممنوع تماما. Now, you mustn't forget your mistakes. You should try to learn from them. هلا في عندنا كمان modal auxiliary verb. إذا أنت ممنوع تنسى أخطائك، تمام؟ You should ينبغي عليك أن try to learn from them. This is like advice. هاي تكون طبعا صيغتها نصيحة. Have an objective. Now, what does mean of objective؟ يعني هدف. خلي قدامك هدف عشان أنت تقدر motivate yourself، تحفز نفسك. Objectives don't have to be big to effective. عادة الأهداف طبعا بشكل عام لازم تكون إلى حد ما يعني محدودة limited. يعني هلا احنا look at the model auxiliary verb اللي هو don't have to. معلش قبل المقارنة نحكي إنه don't have to هي عكس كلمة أو negative of have to، ولكن في القوة رح تاخذ القوة ال have to أقوى من don't have to. كيف؟ لأنه don't have to بمعنى it isn't necessary، مش ضروري. تمام؟ مش ضروري تكون الأهداف كبيرة حتى تعطينا الفعالية الجيدة. هذا معنى الجملة بمعنى أوكي. فنعيد كمان مرة بس هيك نقطة كتير مهمة، إنه الهاف تو بمعنى يجب، وهون في إجبارية قوية، لكن الدونت هاف تو هون بمعنى not necessary or unnecessary، مش ضروري. نيجي عند must. must عندنا البوزيتيف اوكي، والنيجاتيف لها mustn't. اوكي، هلا مع must معناها it is necessary، ضروري، ولكن مع mustn't it means you aren't allowed، مش مسموح لك. بتطلع mustn't أقوى من must. اوكي. Completing small objectives give you a sense of achievement. You will be ready for bigger challenges. Make a plan. هلا وضع خطة لأهدافنا. To achieve goals you need to prepare a plan. هلا need معناها it means it is necessary. ننتبه كمان this need it's a kind of verb that means it is necessary. هلا مش هي المودلز إشي تاني. انتبه إنه need هوني أجا وراها to infinitive. A plan is really a set of smaller objectives. It needn't, and this is model auxiliary verb. إذا needn't هوني هو الفعل الauxiliary المودل auxiliary verb, and it means unnecessary، مش ضروري. It needn't be very long, but it will help you to move in the right direction. Now, after explain about some of auxiliary verb in this text, we want to go to the rule and try to. Now, in the exercise number 2, ask you to look at the model verbs in blue, okay, as you see, and match them with the definitions below. Use some of definitions with more than one model verb. Okay, as you see, I said some models mean it isn't necessary, some mean it's a recommendation, it's a prohibition. It's a prohibition معناها ممنوع. It's an obligation or necessity يعني معناها ضروري. Number 1, it isn't necessary. Which kind of model auxiliary verb that mean isn't necessary? Now I want to show the answer. First, don't have to, it means unnecessary or isn't necessary. Also, needn't. These two model auxiliary verb means it isn't necessary. Okay, يعني هدولي الفعلين معناهم مش ضروري. Now it's a recommendation. Recommendation معناها توصيات، معناها نصيحة، معناها اقتراحات، فإذا دائما استخدم معها should و ought to. It's a prohibition. الموديل اللي نستخدمه مع ال prohibition هو واحد ما في غيره، هو mustn't. It's an obligation or necessity، هي للضرورة بمعنى ضروري. في عنا sometimes we can use have to, must and need. معناها have to أقوى من must to need. Okay. Now after doing this exercise, I want to the next one, and it's exploit. Exercise number 1. Now here rewrite the sentences with the model verbs so that they have the same meaning. هلا احنا نعرف انه sometimes we can rewrite any sentence in another way but the meaning will be the same. نقدر نعيد كتابة جملة بطريقة أخرى ولكن بيكون المعنى متشابه ونفس المعنى. Now it's necessary to wear a uniform at school. هلا here as you see, this is a kind of obligation, and this kind of obligation it's outside. ما حدا فينا بيجبر نفسه يلبس السكول يونيفورم، في حدا بيجبرنا. فاحنا نفهم انه it's necessary to، هاي كلها صبايا بدنا نستبدلها. we want to replace it by you have to then wear a uniform at my school. Okay, you have to wear a uniform at your school. لازم يكون إيجابي your school. Clear? As the same way we want to rewrite the sentences. بنفس الطريقة راح نحاول نكتب باقي الجمل بحيث إنه راح نستبدل جزء من الجمل هاي بموديل auxiliary verb. هلا في الجملة الأولى بما إنه عم بحكي necessary، هلا بقدر أنا أكتب must، بقدر أكتب need، ولكن إحنا هون في زي مدرسة، يعني في قانون رسمي، يعني it's better to use have to. هون في قانون رسمي. okay. فالأفضل إنه استخدم هون have to. Number 2, it would be a good idea to say sorry to her. As you see, now look, it would be a good idea. Now, this is the meaning of advice. Good idea, right idea, okay? فهاي طبعا الدلالة لأنها هون في عنا نصيحة، فإذا رح يكون عنا استخدام should or either should or ought to. إذا أنا بقدر بالنصيحة استخدم should و ought to. Now here we have to omit all this part. هذا الجزء طبعا يحذف، وراح نستخدم you طبعا بما إنها نصيحة. You ought to هي إما either ought to or should. Then after this we can add say sorry to her. Okay, and instead of this part we add you ought to or you should. Number 3, it is not necessary. ننتبه، not necessary to study. Now instead of not necessary we can use don't have to or needn't plus the base name. هذول الاحتمالين نقدر نستخدمهم بدل كلمة not necessary. Okay, now you don't have to study because you are on holiday. You needn't study because you are on holiday. Number 4, it would be a good idea to go to the doctors. Okay, now good idea. دائما good idea يعني it's like the advice. هاي نوع من النصائح، وجود كمان would معها. فإذا هون we have to use ought to, either ought to or should. Number 4, you ought to go to the doctors or you should go to the doctors, as you see. Now this part we have to omit it. Number 5, always wear smart clothes when you go to an interview. Number 5 here, it means it is necessary, or it is necessary, yes. Always wear smart clothes. This is like something necessary to do if you want to make any kind of interview. Now we have to omit always, and we want to rewrite the sentence. You have to, or you must, or you need to wear smart clothes when you go to an interview. Okay, just we omit always. Number 6, it is not necessary. نرجع نحكي not necessary معناها مش ضروري. We have didn't or don't have to. Now here if you want to rewrite, you can say you didn't give me the money until Friday. You don't have to give me money until Friday. Number 7, don't. talk when you are in the library. This is like prohibition. هذا نوع من المنع. Okay, هذا ممنوع بمعنى don't talk. Okay, this is imperative form. Now here as you see we have to use mustn't. ننتبه لهي الصيغة عم تعطينا negative and prohibition، فرح نستخدم you mustn't talk when you are in the library. Okay. Number 8 and the last. Now here is necessary, and instead of necessary we can use have to, must, need. Okay. Now omit until arrive. طبعا هذا الجزء يشطب أو يحذف. cancel it and start. You have to arrive on time tomorrow. You must arrive on time tomorrow. You need to arrive on time tomorrow. As you see, we have 3 ways of writing the last sentence. Now, after doing this exercise, we want to go to the next part, and it is a rule. This rule for using must and have to. Now, must and have to are both used to express obligation. هلا كلا الفعلين المساعدين هذول للتعبير عن الإجبارية. ولكن when decide an obligation for ourselves we usually use must. هلا إذا أنا بدي يعني يكون عندي الأوبليجيشن الإجبارية مني شخصيا فأنا بستخدم must. Okay. I must study this weekend if I want to pass the exam. طبعا هذه هوني أنا this is a kind of obligation from inside. بدي أنا أطلب، يعني أنا بجبر نفسي على إني أدرس عشان أجيب علامات أو أجتاز امتحان. We must visit our grandfather. He hasn't been well. برضه هوني it's a kind of obligation from inside. ما حدا أجبرني أروح أزور جدي لأنه مريض أو تعبان. When the obligation comes from other people، لكن في نوع من obligations اللي بتيجي من أشخاص أصحاب سلطة or organization منظمات and so on. Then we often use have to. إذن هذا النوع من الobligation نستخدم فيه have to. بنرجع نحكي إنه هو بمعنى الإجباري. The teacher said we have to do an exam this afternoon. Motorcyclists have to wear a helmet. إذن هذه نوع من القوانين الإجبارية، عشان هيك نستخدم have to. Exercise number 2 asks you to complete the sentences with the correct form of have to or must. هلا ننتبه، احنا عندنا have to وفي عندنا has to. ننتبه it depends on the subject. But must will be as same with all subject pronouns. Number 1, we are going to China next month, but first we have to get a visa from the embassy to enter the country. Number 2, I must get fit if I want to run in next year's marathon. Number 3, cars can't turn right here. You have to go straight on. Dad doesn't like this job. He has to work late every night. Number 5, I really must stop eating cake. It's bad for my teeth. Number 6 and the last, we must clean the car this weekend. It's healthy. The last one, or the last rule we want to talk about it, that is mustn't and don't have to. mustn't معناها ممنوع. don't have to معناها ليس ضروري. unnecessary. Although must and have to refer to obligation, mustn't and don't have to are very different in meaning. As you see, معناهم مختلفين. ننتبه لهون. You mustn't speak when the headmaster is here. It is prohibited. يعني ممنوع. You aren't allowed to do it. مش مسموح لك تعمل هذا الإشي. هذا مع مين؟ مع mustn't. While when you don't have to. You don't have to speak at the meeting. It means it is not necessary to do this. يعني مش ضروري تحكي أو تحدث في الاجتماع. مش ضروري. ولكن لو تحدثت يعني إنه مش ممنوع. You can if you want to do. بس عندنا في الجملة الأولى مع mustn't يعني ممنوع يعني ما بصير تعمل هذا الشيء. The last exercise here, we want to complete the sentences with the correct form of mustn't and don't have to. Exercise number 1. There is a lot of time before class. We don't have to go yet. Number 2. I'm sorry, but you mustn't eat in the classroom. You can't eat in school buildings. Number 3. Mom, you don't have to cook lunch. I've already done it. Number 4. I can clean the car alone. You don't have to help me. Number 5. Children, you mustn't tell lies. You must always tell the truth. Number 6. It's a secret. You mustn't tell anyone else. So I want to continue doing the exercises at page number 22, workbook M-4. This page also related to the grammar topic that is about the modal auxiliary verb. Again, modals, advice, we use should or ought to. Obligation, we use must, have to, has to. And prohibition, we use mustn't. The exercise number 1 asks you to match the functions in the box with the sentences from 1 to 8. Here we have sentences from 1 to 8, and here the functions. We want to match the functions with the sentences. Obligation الإجبارية, necessity الضرورة, prohibition ممنوع, not necessary غير ضروري, recommendation توصيات. Number 1, you should take a photo. Now here the modal auxiliary verb here is should, and should we use it for recommendation. Number 2, you mustn't take a photo. Now with mustn't we use prohibition. You needn't take a photo. Needn't means not necessary. You need to take a photo. Need we use it for necessity. This is for number 4. You don't have to take a photo. Now here don't have we use it. Okay, I want to show you not necessary means. Number 6, you have to take a photo. This is a kind of obligation. Have to. You must take a photo. This is also kind of obligation. You ought to take a photo. This is a kind of recommendation. As you see, these are the functions of modal auxiliary verb. Exercise number 2, and in this exercise we want to decide if the pairs of sentences have the same or different meaning. Now, when we learned about the modal auxiliary verb, we found that there are maybe 2 or 3 modal auxiliary verb have the same meaning, like must, necessary, like must and have to, has to, and need. Okay, all of these mean necessary. Okay. Also, we find that don't have to, doesn't have to, needn't. All of these mean not necessary or unnecessary. Like this, we can read sentence A and B, then decide if they are the same in meaning or they are different in meaning. Okay? Decide if the pairs of sentences have the same or different meaning. Now, if they are the same, we use S. If they are different, we can use D. Okay? Number 1, don't cycle on the pavement, and you mustn't cycle on the pavement. They are the same. They are the same. Both express prohibition. الجملتين A and B عم بيعطونا ممنوع. هون في منع في الجملتين نفس المعنى. Now it is not necessary to phone. You don't have to phone. They are the same also. Okay. Not necessary and don't have. They are the same. 3A, we should visit our uncle. B, it is necessary to visit our uncle. Now, no, they are different. Should express advice, and here express necessity. They are different. Number 4A, it would be a good idea to study. We ought to study. Now, both give a recommendation and advice. They are the same. Get a passport to travel abroad. You don't need a passport to travel abroad. No, they are different. Now, number 6A, I have to do homework every evening. It is necessary to do homework every evening. They are the same. 7, don't be late for the meeting. This is a kind of a prohibition. You don't have to be on time. No, they are different. Number 8, we have to collect our certificates. It would be a good idea. No, they are different. As you see. Now, next exercise. Exercise number 3. And in this exercise, we want to choose the best answer for each situation. Number 1, I want to go to university, so I must study hard. Number 2, the rules say you have to pay to use the pool. Number 3, we must train harder to win the league. Number 4, the worker have to wear a helmet on site. Number 5, I must brush my teeth more often if I want to avoid visit to the dentists. Number 6, you have to show your passport before you get on the plane. Okay, now with exercise number 4, read the rules for employees at pizzeria. Choose the best answer. Pizzeria, it means مطاعم أو مطعم pizza. Now here we have some rules. The Roma Pizzeria rules for all employees. Number 1, employees need to arrive half an hour before the restaurant. Number 2, employees mustn't be in restaurant without wearing their uniform. This is number 1, and this is number 2. Number 3, employees must be polite and helpful to the customers. Number 4, employees have to have a clean appearance. Number 5, employees should encourage customers to buy a dessert. Number 6, employees ought to ask their manager for permission to finish early. Number 7, employees needn't work more than 3 nights a week. Number 8, employees don't have to work overtime. The manager must ask if the employee is available. Okay, this is for exercise number 4, and we want to go to exercise number 5. And in this exercise, here we have sentences, and there are mistakes in 4 sentences. Okay, number 1 and 2 are done, as you see. Number 1 is correct, and number 2, mustn't is wrong to use it. We have to use don't have to. Here we want to go to number 3, and in this sentence I want to read it. Number 3, you don't have to leave the classroom without asking the teacher for permission first. Now here don't have to, it means not necessary, but here you have to use mustn't. Mustn't leave the class without taking permission from the teacher. Number 4, my brother doesn't have to arrive late tomorrow. Now he's got a new or a job interview, so it's wrong to use don't have to arrive. It's better to use mustn't arrive late, because he has got an interview or job interview. Number 5, you mustn't forget to buy mom a birthday present. Now this sentence is correct. Number 6 and the last, I mustn't get up early tomorrow because it's a holiday. Now we can use not mustn't, don't have to get up early. Now that's it for these exercises. Thank you for your listening. I hope you benefited and understood the exercises